FlossTube. My name is Rhea, and I am the Blue Coast Stitcher. And welcome to my cozy but quiet little corner of the FlossTube world. There's not too many of us, and that's okay. Today's tea is hibiscus and strawberry herbal tea. Today's date is Sunday, April 28th. It's closer to the end of the day, and it's kind of an overcast day, so I'm playing with the lighting. I've got my glasses on. Oh, and it's FlossTube number 7. And this is my channel where I share my joy that I find in the magic that is cross stitch. And I actually have notes. FlossTube number 7, and not quite as much of a gap between this FlossTube and the previous one. This one is going to be pretty much all about Stitch North and some haul that may have followed me home. I attended weekend 1, so weekend 2 just wrapped up today, and I attended weekend 1, which was April 19th, 20th, and 21st of 2024. And this was my 3rd Stitch North. But first, I want to share some exciting life update news in my world. So Friday morning, the 19th, I woke up, I was in the hotel room, and got a message from our oldest daughter, Laura, over in the UK, and she had successfully defended her PhD thesis at the University of Glasgow. So she's officially, well, not quite, because convocation's in June, but the adjudicators of her defense called her doctor at the end, apparently, of her, after she finished her defense. She only just has some minor corrections, but graduation at the University of Glasgow in June with my daughter Laura is a go. We have plane tickets booked, hotels, Airbnb. We're going to be there just over 2 weeks. So yeah, that's exciting news. And then, yeah, so there's a doctor in our house now, which is exciting. And I'm so proud of her. I'm so excited. It was a lot of work, a long road. She started her PhD program, unfortunately, the fall of 2020. And we all know how 2020 and 2021 went. So her start of her PhD program was a bit bumpy. She flew over September 12th, 2020, and had 2 weeks of isolation with her dorm roommates, and then had 2 weeks of being able to explore a little bit of the city and the area and get set up for her PhD program when Scotland went into a complete and full-on lockdown. And the first year of her PhD program was basically done from her dorm room. The university lent her one of their specialized telescopes that it took a couple guys. It's portable but not portable, because it's not just like a telescope that you, not telescope, microscope. Oh God, I can't talk. It's the end of the day, Sunday. Microscope. So for some of her research that she could do the preliminary. So the first year was a bit of a rough start, and we weren't sure if that was going to affect the completion of her PhD research and the write-up of her thesis, but she did it. And she even finished up her thesis in the midst of moving from Scotland down to Oxford area of UK, of England, I should say. So very proud of her, very proud. So let's get back to cross stitch, and more specifically, Stitch North weekend 1. So when it comes, this was my 3rd Stitch North. So I attended Stitch North 2022, 2023, and now this year, 2024, weekend 1. I tend to attend alone. That's just the way I am. I arrived the Thursday, and I have a hotel room with just myself. That's just how I roll. That's how I find When it comes to these type of weekends, what's best for me is that I have the entire hotel room by myself to myself. And that's just how I roll. And so I checked into my hotel room on the Thursday, got settled, unpacked, settled, had dinner, and brought dinner from home. So I had dinner in my hotel room, and then picked out what I was going to take down to the stitching room for Friday morning. So, of course, Friday morning, I get downstairs. I am not the one that's standing in line before the stitching room opens. I kind of show up when I show up, and always breakfast first. That's me. I'm always breakfast first. So I got some breakfast, and because I attend alone every year so far, I end up sitting at a different table, meeting new people every year. I never sit with the same people twice yet. Again, this is only my third Stitch North experience, so who knows, as I'm getting more Stitch Norths under my belt, meeting more people, that chances are I will be sitting at a table again with somebody I've sat with before. So normally I just wander into the ballroom, I kind of scope the joint out. I've taken a bit of a peek at the vendors that were just outside the ballroom on my way in. And they did things a bit differently this year in that instead of having a check-in table, Caroline and crew, you just sat at your table, and then there was a check-in sheet that you signed. So I didn't have to do that this time. And so it was just a room full of stitchers, and weekend one was not completely sold out. So there was still a fair bit of space. And I must have looked dazed and confused like a lost puppy, because a couple of ladies approached me and said, "Are you looking for anyone specific?" And I said, "No." I said, "I'm just trying to find a table to sit at," right? Because that's just the way I roll. And they said, "Oh, come sit with us." So that was the Northern Needleworkers crew from Sudbury. And they didn't drag, but they welcomed me. They escorted me. I went to their table, which was table 29, and they were a larger group of ladies. So there was table 29 and table 30. And they welcomed me very warmly, and I had a fabulous weekend with these ladies at the two tables. So at my table, we had Suzanne, Carol, Marlene, Kathy, and Sylvie. And then over at table 30, which was next to us, there was Shanley, Tracy, Kelsey, Juliet, and Sandra. And I got to know them quite well. And they were just a wonderful, wonderful group of ladies to be able to spend the weekend with. And I made a whole bunch of new friends, not just one table this time, but two tables. So yeah, it was just absolutely wonderful. And then, of course, being the first day, you're getting settled, you're going through your little swag bag that Evertote and Caroline and crew put together with different donations from the different vendors that were there that weekend. Excuse me. So, of course, that takes time. And then, of course, these wonderful ladies that I ended up sitting with started showering me with gifts. And I will admit, I just kind of show up at retreats so far, and just, it was overwhelming to be showered with so many wonderful, wonderful gifts. And I truly, truly appreciate table 29 and table 30 and how they welcomed me into their midst and treated me like they had known me for so long, even though I was brand new to their little group from Sudbury. Anyways, so we got to know each other, we talked a bit, and of course there's shopping, did some stitching. I managed to get a fair bit of stitching. This is my third retreat, so my shopping's a little more do it and then come back, as opposed to I would spread the shopping before and be like a little bit here, a little bit there. Now it's just like some fewer trips, but bigger haul each trip, which, looking at the pile was probably, I came home with a lot between the haul and the gifts. So there was that. And then pizza party Friday night. So we had that, which rounded out with the door prizes. Every night there's door prizes, and I've never won yet, but someday I'll win a prize. But it's always fun as Hannah reads off the numbers. So that was Friday night, and then Saturday was day 2 again. Breakfast first, that's me. And then they had the smalls exchange late Saturday morning. I have not done the smalls exchange yet. I'm just not confident in my, I haven't really finished, how shall I put this? I have made finishes, but I have never fully finished something properly. And then specifically, I've never done a small. I have some smalls fully kitted in my stash, but I have never actually completed one or stitched one yet. And even when it comes to stitching a small and then the finishing, I'm just not confident because I'm not much of a sewer. Now the Northern needleworkers that I sat with, they are mostly quilters and they cross stitch, so their finishing skills are like on par, because yeah, they're sewers. They sew, they do quilts, they know what they're doing. Me, not so much. So hopefully one day I will participate in the smalls, but for now I just enjoy watching the joy that people have in sharing their smalls and in turn what they receive. The people in these Stitch North retreats, the talent, the generosity of the people at these retreats is just amazing to watch. And to see the joy of somebody opening up a very special small, like somebody sitting at my table, it's just, I get just as much joy watching people open and share their smalls. So someday, maybe, I will participate in the smalls exchange. And then usually there's a freebie table. I poked and looked, didn't really see too much. I did get something from the freebie table that somebody from our group found, and I decided to take it, and I will show you that when I do my haul bit. My haul and gifts are kind of all mushed together. Excuse me. I also got to talk to Ellen of Maximum Cross Stitch and had her sign a couple of the patterns that I have of hers, which was wonderful. And then there was the freebie table. I looked and it's like, I have enough stuff. And of course I got, like I said, somebody from our group found something on the freebie table that I ended up taking, because you can never have too much stuff, right? She who dies with the most stash wins. Is that it? Yeah. Then I kind of wandered the room looking at some of the different projects and more shopping, of course. Talked to Karen, the Stitching Owl. She was up the other end. I was in table 29 on one end and she was at table 1 way at the other end. And Lisa from Forest City Stitching, talked to her a bit. It was Lisa's birthday that weekend as well. So it was just wonderful. And talked to Caroline and a little bit of Hannah. Of course, it's busy. They're very busy. So that was wonderful, catching up with some people. And then my table mates invited me out for dinner. So we went out for dinner and came back in time for the draw, did some more stitching. Again, did not win any prizes. The two girls, Shanley and Kelsey at table 30, they did win the last 2 big prizes. Each of them won a fairly decent prize, and I was very happy to see that. And apparently they're sisters, so they each won a big prize. So I was very happy to see that. And then of course, then day 3 is the Sunday, and that is the last day. So it's your last day to do some shopping, tie up some loose ends, say your goodbyes, you know, get connections with people just before you leave. There's always so many people I meet every retreat, and it's just amazing. And yeah, so I walked away with new connections, new friendships, and laughed, stitched, laughed, giggled, shared stories. It was wonderful. And so there's announcements, the wrap up, and then most people leave the Sunday afternoon. I tend to, just again, because this is the way I roll, I stay one more night. I don't go back till Monday, and that I use the afternoon and the evening just to decompress and recenter myself and mentally and emotionally process the last few days before I head home. And I pack, I sort and organize what I got. I do some more stitching. I talk to my husband, who is also very excited about Laura and successfully defending her thesis. And then Monday morning, I had breakfast, always breakfast, and loaded up my vehicle and headed home. And I took the back roads home. We live, as I said, as you know, Blue Coast Stitchers, so I live just outside of Sarnia. So I decided to take the back roads home, plugged in Waze, turn off freeways, and she took me, of course, north, up through Orangeville and Arthur, and then west, and cut me across west towards Grand Bend, and that's where I was able to catch the Blue Coast Highway, and then Lakeshore back home. So, and that was nice. It's a little bit longer than taking the 407, 401, 402, but it was definitely much more enjoyable. The sun, it was one of those gorgeous sunny days, not a cloud in the sky. And I'm somebody who really enjoys driving. Give me a car, give me snacks, some tea, good music, and let's see what adventures I can get up to and what I see and all that. So that's who I am. I just love it. So that was it. And then of course it takes me a few days to get my feet back under me, unpack, do some laundry. My son Daniel and his girlfriend were here by the time I got home on Monday. They were visiting her family in the Kitchener-Waterloo area and decided to come down here for a few days. And then they went back up to Kingston on Wednesday. Because he's doing his Master's of Engineering there. And then Kate just got accepted at U of T for her Master's in Psychology. So she's been applying it. You know, psychology works a little different in terms of getting your master's degree than, say, engineering science and other sciences. So, but she's in at U of T, and she's has an uncle that is letting her stay with him during the week, and then she'll just take a train to and from Kingston, probably on weekends. So, yeah. And the thing is, my husband Dave and I, we did something very similar shortly after we were married. We were married in July, and we were living in London, and I had a secured job at the university hospital there, and he decided to do his master's after he completed his bachelor's the following year. So we got married in July, and then he went to school for his 4th year that September and applied for master's programs, more specifically MBA, which happened to be at Laurier in Waterloo. So he ended up getting a room close to Laurier University in Waterloo, and I stayed at our apartment in London, where I worked full-time at University Hospital to help pay the bills. And he would come back and forth. We ended up getting a second vehicle for a short time, and then it died. And so then I had to bus it or car share to work for the last few months of his MBA. So, and then he would come home on weekends and then go back. So Daniel and Kate will be doing something similar as what we have done. So it's not ideal, but in the end it was worth it because he was able to get his MBA. He got a really good job. I ended up having to quit my job at UH and move to Waterloo with Dave because that's where his new job was. But we were planning to start a family, and we did. Within a year of moving, we started having a family. So Daniel and Kate are not doing that. They're not planning to start a family. They just both want to get their master's degrees, find careers and get a few years working, I think, before they decide whether or not they're going to start a family. And that is totally up to them. Whatever they decide, I am fine. So that's what that is. And now it's Sunday. So let's get down to the stitching. We're 20 minutes in. It's getting dark again. I think it's supposed to rain. So let's start off with what I worked on. So I brought a few projects with me, and I only ended up working on a couple of them. So this one, this is the holiday countdown from 2023 between Evertote, Roxy Floss Co. and Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery. So I brought this along. Now I ended up getting frustrated and putting it down without getting too far in. So you probably saw it in my previous video. So this centerpiece had not been started yet. I was working on right here, this piece. So the scroll wasn't there. There was the branches and some leaves. So I sat down and then I was stitching the scroll, and I got the scroll 3/4 done. And I'm looking at it, I'm going, crap, it's not lining up properly. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, where the hell did I go wrong? And I'm counting stitches, right? Trying to figure out, it has to do with the branch work, where I went wrong. And it turns out, and this is what I get for trying to do a stitch along and trying to keep up during Christmas with other people around. So it was this particular, there was some miscounting here. I missed a stitch along here. It's behind the Q snap. And then some of these stitches, instead of 2/2, I did 2/3. What the hell? I must have been tired. We had just moved. It was Christmas in the new house, and we were hosting the huge Jenkins get together, and it was hard to focus. So I said, screw it, put it back, and brought something else out to work on for that day, just because I knew for me to sit down and try and figure it out and frog everything out at the retreat, it just wouldn't end well. So I sat down Sunday, late afternoon, figured it out, frogged the hell out of what needed frogging out, and just figured out where I went wrong, how I went wrong. I had to take out all these leaves, and then there was leaves here, but I stitched them in Welch's, this color, the purple instead of the blue. And I already stitched these in blue, so I took these out after I got home. And then this week, I've been doing this. So I finished these, there's flowers up here. I finished this. I corrected and completed this section, and then I've started this. We were watching Napoleon last night, so I did some of the Welch's and the rosewood, finished the pom-pom, that's the name of the color of thread, branches. And so I want to make this a finish sooner than later. I'm really looking forward to it with my table mates from Jacob Palooza. We are doing a Zoom and Stitch this coming Thursday, May 2nd. I have my calendar here. Yeah, Thursday, May 2nd in the evening, we're doing a Zoom and Stitch. So I'm gonna bring this along, put it back on. I have a lap stand with a Q-snap holder that I will work on it. But yeah, so that is one of the ones I worked on, and I can get it done sooner than later because it's not a huge project. So let's reach back here, sorry. The bag I brought along. So this was the Hard Copper Bart. I never worked on it. Blackbird Designs, never worked on it. This I did work on, and this was one of my, I started it just before I left. It's one of my 24 starts of 2024, and it's the Borealis Fox from Primitive Hair. and called for fabric and thread. Where am I? Okay, it's wider than it is. So there we go. It's hard to see. I got some stitches in, so it's a start. It is a start. Now the one thing, I have all the threads, and except when I started this, I realized I'm missing one. And that is the Threadworks Metallic and Dreamscape, and I haven't been able to find it. Next time, I'm gonna probably make a road trip to Stitch It Central at some point and see if she can get it for me. I've checked at 123 Stitch. Can't find it, but I know Stitch It Central carries it. And I've looked at some other online stores and I cannot find that particular metallic thread from Threadworks. I have the floss, the Dreamscape floss, but not the metallic of Threadworks, because I guess there's a difference. So I have the cotton floss from Threadworks, but then the metallic is for, let me look at the pattern. So the metallic is going to go into these sections here, just to give it a shape. So I'm sure when the time comes, I can figure it out. But right now, I realized, and that's why when I got it for Christmas, it wasn't in there, sorry, because my kids couldn't do it. This is the mushroom one. I didn't really work on it. I just got a few stitches in here. Like I said, retreat stitching, not much happens. What I did work on, and I was able to focus on, was, just a second here. Let me put this out of my way. Tiocha and Gretja that I picked up from Modern Folk Embroidery at Jacob Palooza, which was the big ass project. So, and then of course there were some other people working on it. I just love the colors. And that's what happens when you chit chat and you talk and you shop and you talk and you shop and you talk. You get some stitching in. So this is a project. It's on 32 Speculas with the called for Roxy Floss Co. threads. So when I left on the weekend, I was about around here. So by the end of the weekend, I got to here. So I did get some stitching then. Not much. Quite a few ladies got stuff done. Like, we got to ring the cowbell, but that's not it. So, my biggest accomplishment for the weekend, besides making new friends, was the acquisition of more stash to further enhance my stitching life. And thereby contributing to economic growth and prosperity. I can justify anything. We're having, like, with inflation, everything, you know, spending's down. So I just kind of helped do a little bit of what they call it, economic stimulus. So this will be haul and gifts kind of mashed in, because I've got the bags and I just kind of pushed everything in, and the gifts and the haul got kind of mushed together. So I do have Sylvie, who was at my table, created this. It was such a cute little basket, and then there's some Lindor chocolates in there. And then Sylvie also made this little, it's so cute. Like, oh my God. And then, like I said, the gifts at from my table mates were amazing. So she cross stitched this little tiny fobby thingy. Oh, isn't that cute? And then you've got the little thing, a maple leaf that says Canada, and then Sylvie Stitch North 2024. Oh, I'm so happy with that. And then in the basket, so this was separate from this basket. And then this basket was the Stitcher's Essentials. So notebook to jot down new friends info, a nail file to make sure Floss doesn't snag a broken nail, because real struggles. Floss drops. So these ones she made. Magnetic tool pickup. I don't know where it is. Give me a second. I'll be right back. Thank you for holding. I have returned. So, magnetic pickup tool. This was with my stitching chair. So it's like this. It was so cool. So I saw Marlene, and I think Kathy was also using it, because if you drop a needle, right? Deep, deep. I did not drop a needle, but I laughed. And then Marlene almost poked my eye out with hers. But it kind of reminds me, I'm dating myself, of the radio antennas that we used to have on cars back in the 70s. And some of them were a standard straight, and then some of them would come up and down. So there's that. To pick up, we all drop our needles and can't reach or see them. Mini basket to put essentials next to you. So there's that. And chocolates. And then, of course, some grass. And then I just threw some other bits. So Lisa from Forest City Stitching. These are thread cards. So this is just a picture of what she was, this is like Yakas 1835, the sampler above, and then what her stitching. And then hopefully this picks it up. Thread name, thread color. So that's in there. Juliet gave us Threadworks thread. We got a nice, almost like a neutral skin tone. This is another one from Make Things with String. So again, this is just a hodgepodge. And then Crazy Band Lady Stitches had some stickers. Come on. Cute, cute, cute. So there is that. So that is one gift. And then I can't remember who this came from, but it's cute. It'll come to me at 2 a.m. Sorry if I forget your name. It's a lot to take in. So many people to meet. So many names, so many faces, so many gifts. It's hard to put into words. So it's like a little pin. So it's like for frogging, like when you're, because yeah, I had to do some frogging. So then, there was different vendors for Stitch. Weekend 1 and weekend 2 had similar but different vendors. So weekend 1, what do we think this is from Gamma's Treasures, I think this is from. This is a retreat mat, and I just loved the blue flowers. And then it's kind of nice because you have it on at your spot. This here is magnetic thread bed. There's a pocket, another pocket. And then in here, oh, here we go. This, I believe, came from Larnie Takar. Blarney's All Things Crafty. She's from Brant. She just didn't come that far. So yeah, that's where it came from. She made those, and then these are so cute. This is for your orts. So next retreat, I have a little ort. Isn't that cute? And I love, it reminds me of like French country. So, and then there's some thread. So I pick that up. I'm happy with that. I always wanted a retreat mat, and I've got myself one. And there's that, and then, yeah. So there's that. All right, let's go into this bag. Oh no, let's do the swag bag. Just give me 1 second here. My laptop is on the floor, and I'm putting stuff on it. All right, let's get the laptop out of the way. I had to reconfigure, because we reconfigured my office, and I had to reconfigure my filming setup, which required me moving my laptop off my desk. So, anyways, every spot at each table had one of these. And this is not just, I got gifts in here too. So it's going to be a hodgepodge. I will try and outline what's gifts and what was actually part of the swag bag. Okay? Because this is like a magic bag. So Carol, who sat at my table, made me this. It's a gorgeous, like I said, these ladies are quilters, and they are talented people. This gorgeous retreat pouch. I'm so thrilled with it. It might get noisy, okay? Sorry. And then Carol also accidentally, I guess she did an Amazon too late at night, was tired and ordered too much. So I took this. She offered this. I said, sure, I'll take it. So it's just a planner. I think this was Sylvia again. I can't remember who it was. Sorry. Another notebook, highlighter and pen, DMC floss. It's gorgeous. And some Werther's and maple candy, because we're Canadian, eh? Yes, we are. And there's a rabbit looking at me from my front lawn into my window. So those are gifts. So in terms of, what else is in here? Again, I don't remember where half the stuff came from. There was just so many gifts being handed out. And this, I'm so sorry. I don't know who you were. I can't remember who it was. This is a needle case, but it's not just a rate. Like it's a nice screw. It's solid. Like you're gonna get needle cases that are kind of, yeah, whatever. And then it's wood with, absolutely, of course, is it gonna show the carving? Come on. There's intricate Asian, Chinese carvings on this. And of course, it's not showing. Oh, it's gorgeous. And more candy. I don't really eat candy, so I just give it to people. Oh, and a needle threader. Is that ever cute? See? It's like new again. I don't know who this, thank you, whoever this is. Shoot, I just dropped it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So the rest, I think, is swag. So instead of what we used to do, which Caroline and crew used to do, you would have like a Staples, hello, my name is sticker. They would stick to your shirt. Instead, they provided us with lanyards with name tag sleeves, and then fabric and a pattern. I just threw this together. It's supposed to say Stitch North. I cut it really shitty because, you know, it was Stitch North. But at least I have a name tag. That's my name. That's how you spell it for anybody who's curious. R-I-A. I'm Dutch. That's how we spell it. I had a cousin who, she just passed, but she had that name. So, what else was in here? Tiny Modernist. Always time for tea pattern. I love her stuff. Stickers. I think this was a gift. You can never have too many stickers. Canadian Stitchery gave us a name badge. So I will create one for the next Stitch North. Gamma's Treasures gave us another thread bed. with the card of where to find them. And again, this little thing here, that's magneted. Oh, this was a gift from Suzanne from my table. Again, these ladies from the Northern Needleworkers, like, oh my God. Like, this is a thread bed. And then there's a matching needle minder. Little charms that say 2024 and 2025. And then a floss ring with, come on. Like, I am just confusing the hell out of my camera. Sorry. But look at that. And then a little charm. Oh, so that was another gift. So happy. And then the ladies from my table, somebody made, let me open this, a needle minder for everyone at their tables as part of their group. And they included me so generously. And it's another needle minder that says Northern Needleworkers. That is so cool. There we go. Crafty Whitney made another floss ring. You know, the sewing clips that everyone could use when they actually finish something, unless you're Rhea, Blue Coast Stitcher, who still has to do that. Another charm. Oh, the Stitch North Needle Minder of the Year. Come on. To add to my collection. I Can Sew Make That gave us these wonderful books and stickers. Oh, it's in plastic, but I'm sure. Yeah. Excuse the plastic. I know some people don't like it, but I'm opening it. Again, I get overwhelmed and I just stash everything away. So, a stick, yes. Oh, it's just a business card. Oh, Candace. I so can make that. And it's just a nice notebook. It's so handy to have. Stitch Toolbox gave us, I think this is just one card. Or is there a few there? There's a few for when her projects are finished. There we go. Monkey and Mouse. I Survived Stitch North 2024. And it's Floss Drops. She had a wonderful booth. Rocky Mountain Needle Minder. She would kind of do this on Facebook and say, I have something for you, lady, for everyone. And then, this was my needle minder. Here, let me take it out of the bag. It's going to go to my needle minder magnet board downstairs. There, my garbage is right here. There we go. Hopefully you can see. Such a happy face. Mama Jack Makes just a couple of floss rings. Such a sweet gift. Like I said, the generosity was just unbelievable. The Sewing Shop. Oh. It's this cute little pouch. I don't know where she got these. So she says thank you. And it's a, put on your scissors, a zipper pull, whatever floats your boat. And the garbage is here. It's a little charm. Oh, come on. Oh my goodness. Isn't that pretty? And then Kitten Stitcher, Shakespeare's Peddler. She is such a generous woman when it comes to Stitch North. Everyone got something different in terms of, it's like a full-on pattern. And I got Antique Birds and Cages by Shakespeare's Peddler. I have seen this pattern before, just around, but it's a small and I have yet to make a small. So add this to the collection of smalls. that I have to make. But isn't that gorgeous? Antique birds and cages. I just had a moment as I'm looking at my phone. Did I hit record? I did. Heaven help me if I didn't, because I've been talking for 15 minutes. Brennan Needle gave us a pattern. Of course, they always do. It's a lobster. That's all it is, a lobster. You would, if you were on Instagram or Facebook, especially the Stitch North Facebook page, and even on Instagram, you would have seen some people had finished the lobster, which is very Newfoundland. So, and this looks like Ada and thread and a needle. Oh, that's from Brennan Needle. That's, again, a small. I could stitch. And then Marlene from Pastime Pieces. I usually spend a bit of money there, you'll see later. Gave us this little tin that has a magnet and a pin. So it's good. It's just, you know, a little tin to hold stuff. I think it's just so cute. And of course her card. I kind of live closer to her store now because she's over in, is it Blenheim? Where is she? Yeah, Blenheim, which is just outside Chatham. Which I think I live a little closer to than I did before. And then, oh, what else is in here? Oh shoot, I'm dropping stuff. Okay. Oh, this was for the name tag. The thread, everybody got a different thread. I had Annie for their name tag, and then there was more to the name tag you would have seen off Stitch North Facebook page. Caroline and crew holding theirs that apparently Ellen stitched for them, because Ellen is just such a fast stitcher. And then some more floss drops that Sylvie made. And then from Leanne, who I got to talk to at length about samplers and history and all that. It was really wonderful to catch up with her. Donated this into our bags. Weaving a dream of my own. All right. I have 2 more bags. 3 more bags. All right. Bag number 2. Oh! Found my headphones, my Apple headphones. I need those. All right. Oh, that's just something I brought with me. So, I'm creating chaos here, sorry. I bought project bags. 2 were from Stitch Toolbox, and 2, I believe, from Gamma's Treasures, which were just there Friday. Don't ask me. I think this was stitched. I can't remember. But it's stunning. I think this was Stitch Toolbox. Yes, this was Stitch Toolbox. Happy spring colors. And then I had to go to the Rocky Mountain needle minders and got another needle case, which will be handy because right now they're just, I don't have it here with me, but for retreats and stuff. And then every year I buy a bunch of needle minders from Rocky Mountain Needle Minders. So this year's are Socially Awkward. Zero days without sarcasm, which is par for the course. I always say my soul was replaced with sarcasm. They're kind of sticking together because, you know, I just kind of threw them in the bag. Anyways, it's to people the outside. Remember I said Sunday I stay and decompress and recenter? I love people. The stitching community is absolutely amazing, but the introvert in me needs that downtime, and I own it. It's fine. I'm fine. Everything is fine. And this kind of reminds me of our one cat, Artemis. That's her look. We always laugh, said she's scared of her own shadow. Let me put this in here. Let me put some stuff in here. Don't make me poison your food. I'm a nutritionist. I cook all the time. Oops. There we go. I still have it, because you understand our youngest, he was a very picky eater. And one of my girlfriends had gotten me an apron that was like a quote from Cleopatra, basically saying, if I wanted to poison you, I would have done it 10 times already, type of thing. I can't remember the exact quote. Anyways, and so I saw that, poison your food, because the way my son acted when he was younger, and then he admits now as an almost 24-year-old, he was just playing mind games with me. Little shit. And then this one, in my defense, I was left unsupervised. And that's for my husband, because anytime he leaves me unsupervised, he finds himself doing something that he hadn't expected, especially when we're on vacations. So, Quebec City, 2011. My husband is descended from... My husband's descended from the founders of Quebec City and Lévis, Quebec, across the river. Louis Hubert and Marie Rollet. They came over with Samuel de Champlain. And in 2011, we had done a huge family vacation. We went to DC for the 4th of July. It was amazing. Hit Salem, Boston, worked our way up through Maine. I would love to go back to all the states and Quebec again someday, but hasn't happened yet, but it will. And we rounded out our trip at Quebec City and to do some genealogy. His sister's a genealogist, and this is where there was a huge "you left me unsupervised." So it was the evening before we left to go back. We were stopping in Montreal and then drive the rest of the way home because we had 3 kids. And Daniel was 11, so Amanda would have been 12, and Laura would have been... Amanda was 13, Laura would have been 15. So 11, 13, 15. And Amanda has a nervous fire, especially with that age. And we were at the Notre Dame Church of Quebec City, which is the old church. It's been rebuilt, but that's where it started, because we had just done a few days. We were at Lévis, Quebec, looking at the old family homestead, cemetery, the old shipyards where his ancestors used to work at, that kind of thing. And then we were doing Quebec City, found their Louis and Marie's statues, and then we rounded out at Notre Dame, which was the church that they would have founded, but not exactly that church, right? Because it had been rebuilt, because it's now stone, whereas when they did it, it was the wooden. Anyways, it was summer, it had rained, and Amanda had to go to the bathroom. But she wouldn't go to the bathroom at the church. She had to go back to the hotel room. So Dave left me unsupervised. And I think Laura was with me. And it was just, it's a beautiful old church. There's a lot of history. A lot of famous people from the area are buried at that church throughout history. Plains of Abraham is close by, which again, Dave's ancestors were involved with that, the Battle of the Plains of Abraham. So it was a huge family trip. And so I just started wandering. and looking at the different niches that the Catholic churches will have. And then I was talking to one of the docents that were there. I said, yeah, we're just trying to do, we're talking on family history, blah, blah, blah. And I explained who my husband's ancestors are. And they said he was the first farmer of European descent of Canada. And he came over, he was good friends with Samuel Champlain, and before that, he was the pharmacist at the royal court. So this is where the connections are. And he goes, oh, my ancestors also came over with Samuel de Champlain and blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, apparently. And then we kind of connected the dots. And he said, and then we're talking. He's like, oh, he goes, you come back tomorrow. And I will have I won't be here, but I forget the name of the girl. She'll be here. And you come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. with your husband and your kids, because we're getting ready to close. And we'll take you into the catacombs. So you left me unsupervised, honey, and now before we head out to Montreal, we have to go visit the catacombs because there's a directory. There's ossuaries, there's the casket for the first cardinal of Quebec from the 1600s. I think he died late 1600s, early 1700s. Ossuaries, there's a list because you understand the current church is not the original church, and they have a directory of burials. And so unfortunately his ancestors wasn't in that directory. Just like Samuel Champlain, they don't know where they were buried because just the time period. But yeah, he left me unsupervised and we ended up in the catacombs underneath the church in Quebec City that took us through a secret door that is kind of, because the front of the church by the chancel and all that is beautiful carved work, and off to the side it looks like this beautiful decorative wooden panel. But it's a secret door that takes you down, and then there was an altar with bones of some missionaries that were killed by the indigenous people. I don't like missionaries, but they had fragments because they made them into saints because the indigenous people killed them because they were trying. Anyways, so they had like an altar, and then all the church dignitaries from Quebec City and area from a certain time period onward were buried there. And then there was a set of double unbelievable wooden doors carved with the tree of life. And then that opened up to a whole new area where they had the ossuary. So you're in this dark cavern. So this is where the old church was. And then you could see underneath, because over the years they found bones and burials. So there's some bones tucked away. And then the ossuaries, there's two giant ossuaries in this underground cavern under the church, because Quebec City, in terms of colonial settlement, is one of the oldest settlements in Canada. And to this day, especially those who are in old Quebec City, if they're gardening and they find a finger bone, they take it to the church, the priest blesses it, and it gets put into the ossuary. Because pieces of bone and bone fragments are constantly popping up in people's yards in Quebec City. So that's what happens when you leave me unsupervised. And yeah. Anyways, again, this is from the Stitch Toolbox, I believe. Nautical, considering I now live. And then I kind of squirreled away stuff, right? So I picked up, oh yeah, also from the Stitch Toolbox, some counting decorative pins with a needle minder that is stone. My girls are into earth sciences, so my daughter has her PhD. It may be space sciences, specifically meteorites, but when you in the university program, it's earth sciences, and because it kind of planetary sciences and earth sciences kind of overlap. So we are a family that's into rocks and minerals and quartz crystals, so I thought that was appropriate. And then I got more of the project cards that sit stitched in the year designer fabric notes. I just love this as a way to commemorate. And then Brennan Needle had some fabric that I liked. 32 count blueberry stain. I don't know what I'll use it for. I might cut it up. I don't know. But add it to the stash. 32 count Belfast opal in father's coveralls, because they're Newfoundland, right? So instead of father, they say father. So I never worked. I've heard some people say they didn't like working with a fabric that has metallic through it, and others said they didn't mind. I guess it can affect the thread and the needles, but hey, I can do something small with it. And then this is what originally why I went to the Bryn Naval table, because I saw it. I was busy. I didn't have my wallet, and I thought, let me come back. And then I got busy. And I thought, well, if it's still, you know, a couple hours later, if it's still there, it's meant to be. And it was still there. 28 count shotgun. And let's see. Da, da, da. I love it. I might do something with that. I don't know. I have an idea, but I don't have an idea. And then, so that's in there. That's another thing when you buy new project bags. I told you I bought some stuff. This is from Gamma's Treasures. I don't think I stashed anything in there. So another project bag of hers, which was, so I bought the Retreat mat and then 2 project bags. These, and then each one comes with a notions pouch and a thread bed with a little magnetic needle holder. So there's that. And then I got the same one, but this time it's like a red bird topiary. Okay, so 2 more bags. What's in here? Oh, yes. So, there was Northern Pine Designs, which was also, what's it called? Yeah, Northern Pine Designs. So she's from Sudbury. They know, my table mates knew her. Before I knew my table mates knew her, I went to the table because I'm always looking to expand my needlework experience. I've done crewel, if you've seen the carousel horse that I have yet to finish from 1990. And so she had some beautiful designs that caught my eye. So I picked up a couple of them just to try it out. And some of my table mates have stitched her work. So it's not cross stitch, it's a variety of needlework by the looks of it. And it's just unbelievable. So always wanted to expand my stitching knowledge beyond cross stitch. So this is Day into Night, a charted canvas work design kit. And she had samples of this, and then it comes with the threads. And there's some metallics. If there's enough metallics, I may be able to work that into my Borealis box. Oh, this is just a pattern. That's cross stitch. It's Stonehenge. Because my daughter, where she lives, she's just on the northern edge of the South Wessex Downs Nature Preserve. She's like 45 minutes from Stonehenge. We're not 100% sure we're going to go there because it's kind of touristy, and there's other ancient stone circles that are just as just Stonehenge. Yeah. So anyways, I'm probably going to see Stonehenge. My daughter lives close to there, so yes, I would like to do that pattern. And then I picked up another charted canvas work design called Snowflake. I saw the finished, unbelievably gorgeous. It comes with Valdani and different metallic threads in the canvas. So expand my world. What else is in here? So I think that's what I picked up. And then, oh yes, I did sign up for I ordered from 123 Stitch Sunday the fabric and threads for this. Anyways, that's just excess. What else is in here? This is from Pastime Pieces. So I want to, like I said, smalls. So I picked this up. This was an actual kit that came with fabric, linen thread, and then this finishing projects. So this is Scattered Seed Samplers Summer Sweets Pin Keep. Sorry, it's in plastic. I'm not taking it out. Oh, I know what that belongs to. Okay. This is something I caught my eye. Moonlight Sampler by the Blue Flower. And then I ordered the thread and the fabric from 123 Stitch later. So that. The Woolly Ooh Midnight Dreamer pattern. This is all pastime pieces. Plum Street Samplers, I've done one of their patterns, and the fruit of the spirit is love, joy, peace. Just the pattern. This is from Twin Peak Primitives, just because I'm Dutch. December in the Netherlands. With Sinterklaas and Zwarte Piet. And Het Verhaal van Hans Brinker. I have to look up who Hans Brinker is. But I just love the scene. With the Dutch. That's from that. Each province has their own traditional costumes. So this is not from either of the provinces that my parents are from. But it's still pretty cool. Red Smalls. So this is also from Twin Peak Primitives. It's just a series of smalls. So stitched in red. DMC red terracotta. So they just, yeah. Light and dark. So yeah. Be Mine. There we go. This was from Hands On Design. I don't know how old this is. Once upon a time, there were two needleworkers. Oh, Summer House and Hands On Design created this booklet between friends. And it's just a bunch of different projects. Kathy and Beth. Summer House Stitchworks. What's the 2023? So it's one of the newer ones. Okay. And Beth Seal of Summer House Stitchworks. So, and they've got smalls, they've got a sampler. Needle book. The Score News. It's also on my list to figure it out. And then, so you don't see the actual pattern. I just thought that sampler was so cute. And they're not big pieces, so why not? What else did I get? Oh, Hive Rules from Thistles. And then I got, let me open this up. She had the fabric called Berkshire Hive Even Weave 28 count from Fabric Flair to go. They sold it separately, but I bought it to go with the pattern. And then I also got 32 count Vapors linen and parchment weeks, because that's just a good neutral. I have a few of these, it's just good to have. All right, and then my last bag. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting there. Oh, so I ordered Stitch North. So you know how Caroline every year does a Stitch North pattern with a designer. Last year it was Leanne from 1897 Schoolhouse. This year it was Tiny Modernist. So I got the pattern, and somebody, I believe on Facebook, I know Mr. Bunny, I know he's looking at me. I think it was on Facebook, Stitch North. Finished it or is almost finished. So I got the pattern, got the floss, 32 count catnap, which is just a gorgeous gray. And then Matt made this thread bed. It is just so it matches the, look at that, it matches. So matchy. And then what I like is that you got the pockets, and then you got all, it's so pretty. So, another new start. because, you know, I don't have enough. So last year, Caroline worked with 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers, Leanne. So let me get rid of that. And that particular one was a series of projects. So I got the last one, and then that. Just an idea of how to put it all together, along with some more floss, and then panettone for this one and the one before, because I ordered the one before this a few months ago, but they didn't have the panettone because they were sold out. Is it panettone? Yeah, panettone. Panettone or panettone? And so, yeah, so that was in there. Also from 1897 Schoolhouses. So samplers, I talked to Leanne for a really long time. Leanne and I, we have known each other forever, it seems like, the way we talked. Wonderful, wonderful woman, extremely talented designer. And I've got some of her pieces. I've been working on a couple of them. And so now, because I need more. So I got some more patterns of hers. And she also put me on to, I think it's the Sampler Guild, which is out of the UK. And because I'm going to England, an antique business that's a lot of people get their samplers from. So maybe, I don't know, we'll see. But anyways, we talked forever and ever. And then I have family, because that's settled in the area that Leanne is from and all that. So lots of talking. But in the meantime, I bought patterns. Of course I did. Catherine Reese, while plying her needle and blooming in her own time. Got that. Prudence, Love, and Toil, Sarah Alden, age 10, 1796. Like, I am just so fascinated. So there's the original. I know it's in plastic, I'm sorry. And there's what Leanne created. I am creating a mess. Go Tell It to the Bees. The original. And then Leanne's reproduction. Sarah Smith, 1842. And then the last piece I got from her was Along the Path Toward Simplicity, a Quaker sampler from the Feller Group. And she mentioned getting some books from the Feller Group, and I think they're out of the UK. So I think this is the original. And there's some of the books. And then Leanne's reproduction. And then Ellen signed these two for me. I purchased these. These have been on my list. Pumpkin Thieves and the Honey Thief. I mean, they're more stunning. Like, pictures do not capture what it is. So for each of them, I got Dirty Porcelain 32 count for both Honey Thief and Pumpkin Thief, right? And then, there we go. Red packs. Again, it's in plastic. I'm sorry, but I have to keep them in the bag till I get them fully kitted into their proper things. And then, oh my God. Speaking of smalls, Shakespeare Peddler Pennsylvania Christmas Deer Kit on 20 count Ada. And there it is. That was one of the, Evertote, Caroline and crew had kits. So you just walk up and you buy the kit. The other kit I purchased was, and you probably, if you were on Instagram or the Stitch North Facebook page, have seen Think Cross Stitch MD and crew pick this one as their start together. Modern Folk Embroidery. And this isn't Dutch. I looked it up. It's actually Middle. I think it's Iranian. Here, let me take it out of the bag because it's kind of... I cannot say the words. Soroud is Sepidi because it's not Dutch. And then I got 28 count Billie Jean. Gorgeous. And then the threads to go with it. I don't know if there's a stitch along for that or not, but I seem to recall, I think Elizabeth Ann can stitch and Crew and cross stitch MD, Situation Normal, New Hampshire Stitcher. I saw them on Facebook and Instagram. I think this is the one that they were going to start together, because last time they started one, cannot remember what it's called. And then a sampler garden, Stitch Along 2022 from Modern Folk Embroidery, added to my collection. And I got 32 count panettone to go with it. And the thread pack for 2/2. Again, I know it's in plastic, I'm sorry. And then, I haven't talked to Caroline about this. I was talking to Caroline and, you know, enabler that she is. It's like, and if anybody knows me, I am easily enabled. Now, let me clear some space here. Anyways, there was this one pattern from Shakespeare's Peddler that she absolutely loved, and she said, I can't get anybody to buy it. I said, well, what is it? And again, it was one of the kitted up projects. And it's opened up for me already. Anyways, that they had that they created for this particular pattern with the Roxy Floss Co. conversion. I said, oh, what is it? And she goes, and she showed me. It's called Matilda Clark, age 10. She goes, I want to do a stitch along. Will you do it with me, Rhea? And I said, well, and I said, June is a write-off for me. May is touch and go because I have a couple things going on in May. I have friends coming over for a visit, and then Amanda has her capstone presentation, and then she moves out. June is Amanda's graduation and us going to England. So I'm not sure. I have to talk to Caroline, but she convinced me. Matilda Clark, age 10, Shakespeare Peddler. It's a stunning piece. But it's on 40 count. 40 count linen. It looks like speculoos. Is it written down what's on it? 40 count. Floss conversion. So anyways, I have yet to stitch on 40 count. I talked to Ellen Reed as well. I said, you stitch on 40 count? Any tips? Because my eyes suck. Yes, I have a magnifier. She said, it takes getting used to. I think I can do it. 1/2, Caroline said. This looks like speculoos. I could be completely wrong. Correct me. And then the floss conversion. So I'm going to talk to Caroline. She's had a lot on her plate with Stitch North 2 weekends. And then if you follow Caroline on Instagram and Facebook, you'll understand that Luna, unfortunately, passed away after she got back from weekend 1. So, and I was talking to her before, and it's just like, oh, rest in peace, Luna, you dear, beautiful soul, as you run around with your stick free and pain-free. Anyways, so that is the Roxy Floss Co. conversion for Shakespeare's Peddler, Matilda Clark, age 10 years. When Caroline is going to create the stitch along, because she also has her birthday stitch along that I signed up for that is starting in July when her birthday is. So I'm going to have to email her and say, hey, remember what you convinced me to buy this pattern? And maybe do a stitch along with you? When do you want to start? As long as it's... Once I get back from England in Scotland. I don't really have anything else planned for my summer other than we got to build Dave's sky shed, so electrician's coming out this week. I'm not doing too much gardening. There's some, I like to plant plants that are native to my area and pollinator friendly, feed the bees and butterflies and everything else. And so there's a few things I want to rip out because the builder gave us front gardens, basic front gardens. There's a dogwood right now, purple beech, and supposed to be a miniature Japanese maple, but I've heard that before. I'm going to probably rip that out because it's going to block the dining room window. And then I have some boxwood outside my window here that I might just put somewhere else. Rip up some daylilies and maybe put purple coneflowers and other flowers like that. And then there's some weird grasses. 2 survived, 3 died over the winter. So I'm going to put some lavender there because they're not necessarily native, but they are pollinator friendly and I love lavender. So that'll be done probably before around May 24. And then June we're gone. So July is Caroline's birthday stitch along. So Matilda, I don't know. I gotta talk to her. I said I would do it, but then once I'm home and settled, other than Dave's sky shed, things are pretty low key. There'll probably be like friends coming to see the new place, hang out at the beach with us, that type of thing. So anyways, so that is my haul that followed me home. I'm starting to ramble, sorry. So Stitch North 2024 weekend 1 and 2 has now been completed and everybody had a fabulous time. There is one more Stitch North this year for 2024, which is in October, and I will be attending that weekend. And quite a few people that I talked to are also coming in October. So that's October 25th, 26th, and 27th, 2024 in Brampton, which I'm really looking forward to attending. And then at the end of weekend 1, Caroline announced the dates for Stitch North 2025 spring. And unfortunately, weekend 1, somebody pointed out rather quickly, and she didn't notice and I wouldn't have noticed because it's not something I celebrate, is Easter weekend. So today on Facebook, she was able to bump up both weekends of Stitch North 2025 by a week. So what used to be weekend 2 is now weekend 1, and weekend 2 is now a week later. So Stitch North 2025 weekend number 1 is April 25th to the 27th, and that is the one that I probably will be attending. Weekend 2 is May 2nd to the 4th. I prefer weekend 1 because once we get into May and hopefully next year I can actually do some gardening because Dave's sky shed will be done. He'll be done digging up trenches for electrical and crap in my backyard. So I can do some actual gardening back there and get some beds laid and all that stuff. So I kind of like to do that early May. So I prefer weekend 1. And then instead of like previous Stitch Norths, as we were winding down our particular weekend, we were allowed to register for advanced registration as previous attendees, and we were allowed to register for the following year. But this year, to make it even, and they were having issues because what would happen is you're at your retreat, you're excited, and apparently this happened to quite a few people, all excited, and they sign up for, they pick a weekend for the following spring. And then they get home, and then she said within 2 weeks, like after weekend 1 last year or weekend 2, she had over 70 cancellations because people got home, and then the excitement dies down. It's like, oh crap, so-and-so's getting married, or this is going on. So, and then there were people who weren't able to attend that would have liked to attend, but then advanced registration would fill up, and then so instead, Streamline on their end to make it easier for their staff as Evertotes as a company grows and expands. And of course, with growth and expansions, there's going to be changes and alterations. So there is no advanced registration. Registration is going to open Monday, May 6th at noon on the Evertote website for both weekends. There's a non-refundable deposit, I believe, if you do not pay in full. more will come out. You'll have to keep an eye on Evertote's Facebook page, Instagram page, if you're on their email list as well. Stitch North Facebook page, she just mentioned the 2 days they were able to move it up, so Easter is no longer. Everybody can celebrate Easter. Those who celebrate Easter can celebrate Easter now and not worry. And then fall of 2025, there is going to be, I believe, the Jeanette Douglas retreat. It's all going to be in Brampton. And then in 2026, I believe Teresa from Shakespeare's Peddler Kitten Stitcher is doing a retreat workshop as well in the fall of 2026. So I will be attending Stitch North in October. I am hoping to be at weekend 1 of April 2025 Stitch North. I hope to attend Jeanette Douglas's weekend workshop retreat. I enjoy Jacob Palooza as well. So definitely hoping to be there. And 2026, I would love to meet Teresa. Who knows? Now let's talk about plans. So plans, I will probably continue working on Holiday Countdown 2023 and Tia and Grecia. And then I need to do another start for 24 starts in 2024. And before I filmed, I went, because I have, as you saw my craft room tour, I have 2 boxes that I put the 24 starts for 2024. So I reached in one of them, and I didn't care what I pulled out. Let's just see what I pull out. And what do I get? And this time I pulled out, and this will be new, very new to me. And let me take it out of the plastic. A Year at Hawk Run Hollow. Here we go. And I have 32 count Belfast linen in sand. And then I am using the called for needlepoint silks. This is the first time that I'm working with needlepoint silks. So anyways, it's the called for. I think I have them all. Yes, I do. I'll have to double check. But again, it's in my, because I've kitted it, it's in my baggies. So I won't take it out because it'll take forever. Of course, it wants to focus on my face. So I'll probably start this, I'm thinking Friday night, maybe? We'll see how my week goes. Thursday, I have my Zoom and Stitch with my Jacob Palooza table mates. So, that's another thing with retreats. I know for me personally, I don't do new starts at retreats. I learned that lesson in 2022. 2022, I decided to do a new start on Isabella's Heart, and then forgot about it, pulled it out months later, and realized there's a reason I don't do new starts, because I am easily distracted. Hello, squirrel. And so I had to rip out pretty much everything I did at Stitch North. I had to rip out and begin again. So no new starts at retreats for me. Bring along what I work. Except at Jacob Palooza, I did start Teatro in Grecia, but everybody was starting it, so I think it was a little different. So anyways, that is it. It looks like it's going to probably be an 1.5 hour video. I wish everyone well as I conclude this FlossTube. I hope that you are able to find joy every single day in even the smallest of things and events in your life. Try to get a few stitches in whenever you can, every day if possible. Don't forget your daily gratitude, and happy stitching to everyone. Take care and welcome spring. The flowers are blooming here. The trees are blooming. So there's some joy there, looking out my window and seeing a flowering tree across the street. That's my little bit of joy for today. And then 2 rabbits playing in my front yard as I'm trying to film this and without going, rabbit, look at the rabbit. But take care. Happy stitching.